touching my laser.
Okay guys, welcome back to HDLoLcast. Today we are going to be going over a specific Nunu build. I like to call this one Support Nunu. Now you might be asking yourself, what kind of weird name is that? This guy has finally lost it. That's it, I'm out. No more HDLoLcast from me. Well, hey, dude, wait before you go. Don't panic. I'm not just crazy. He's called Support Nunu because, for one, he supports really well. Nunu has the ability called Blood Boil. What that does is it will beef up any physical DPS on your team. Number two, he is called Support Nunu because he is a frickin' nuke. No duh. He has two great nuking abilities. One of them will apply a slow and also has an amazing AP to damage ratio. And the other one is quite literally a nuke. What it's going to do is a 4-second cast time. Anyone caught within the blast radius is going to get hit for obscene amounts of damage. At level 5 it does something like 1175 damage plus 2.5 per ability power. It's ridiculous. So Nunu is an incredibly fun build because, for one, you and your allies are going to rip face, and for two, blowing people up and hitting them with that hard to land move is probably one of the most satisfying things I have done in this game so far. I giggled like a little girl the first time I got it. Anyway guys, let's start with the build. Okay, first things first, you're going to want to build towards a couple core items. These are the ones I like, but that does not mean that these are the ones that you need to get. These are just recommendations. Okay, first up we want to start with a Doran's Ring. It's really powerful early game. It's going to keep your mana up, which will let you keep consuming. It also provides you with some health to make you a bit more durable, and some ability power to also add a little bit more punch to your snowball and get you a little bit more health back from your consume. After that, you're going to want to start working your way up to one of several of these core items. It all depends on how the game is going, whether or not you're getting the gold that you need, so on and so forth. Okay, so here you can see these recommended items for you. You do not have to get these in this order per se, but provided you get them at some point as part of your core build, you'll be doing well. Okay, so we've got the Boots of Swiftness. Now, I've included these specific boots for a couple of reasons. First off, they will give you consistently a speed bonus above all of your enemies. This is incredibly powerful. Combine that with the fact that you have a slow, and all you have to do is catch up to them, hit them with the slow, and then your allies can catch up behind them and break their faces in. Next up, we have Spirit Visage and Rod of Ages. Both of these are extremely useful for keeping you alive for a couple of reasons. First of all, Spirit Visage will give you some magic resistance, some health, and most importantly of all, it will increase your healing done by your consume by 20%. This is huge. You also can see here that we have the Rod of Ages. This is going to be one of the first items that you want to get because it has some amazing passive bonuses. It will give you an incredible amount of health, an incredible amount of mana, and some really good attack power too once it's maxed out after 10 minutes of buying it. These are definitely part of the core build. They will help you stay alive, and they will also increase the damage that you do. The next three items up are not AND items. These ones are OR items. You only want to get one of these, and it all depends on your situation. So first off, at the bottom there, we have the Abyssal Scepter. Now, the Abyssal Scepter will provide you with a lot of AP, that's 70 AP, a lot of magic resist at 57 magic resist, but most importantly, it's going to provide you with an aura that will reduce your enemy champion's magic resistance by 20. Reducing magic resistance is huge if magic is your primary form of damage. Now, to understand why it's so huge, you're going to have to visit our game mechanics video. I'm not going to explain it here because it'll take too long. Visit that video if you want, but for now, just take my word for it that you need to be reducing enemies' magic resist if you want to do more damage. Point for point, it is actually more cost-effective than increasing your AP until you reduce them past a certain point. Okay, now next up we have the Haunting Guys.
Why so serious?
Whoa there, whoa now, holy crap. Easy there on the creepiness, guys. I'm not talking about that kind of haunting guys, okay? I'm talking about the in-game kind. Yeah, right there, you got it. That's a lot easier to look at. Okay, so this Haunting Guys is for when you cannot afford your Abyssal Scepter. So for whatever reason, you're broke like I am IRL, you gotta get at least the Haunting Guys. It will still have the magic penetration, but the other stats on it just aren't quite as good. Now you'll see at the top there we also have the Void Staff. The Void Staff is a very, very situational item. The reason why is because it deals percentage magic reduction. So the only time that you really need the Void Staff, or even want to get it for it to be cost effective, is if your enemies, on average, have a magic resistance after all of your other magic penetration effects that is greater than 100. So what this means is that if you have 40 magic penetration, then your enemies are going to need to have 140 magic resist in order for the Void Staff to be worth it. Okay, moving on from the core items, next up we have the optional items. Okay, so first you will see Banshee's Veil. This is very useful, but it can be situational. If you're finding that you are getting stunned or disabled before you can pull off your ultimate, you may wish to go for a Banshee's Veil. This will block the first spell cast on you, but the problem is if the bubble gets popped by anything else before you start casting your ultimate, it doesn't actually have the intended effect. Plus, you can also just try playing a bit smarter and waiting until CCs are on cooldown on the enemy team instead of running in there and dropping your ultimate first thing. Next up, we have Glacial Shroud and Fiendish Codex. Now, these are included because you will want to get cooldown reduction late game, so that your snowball can have the same cooldown as its slow effect. This will help you keep people perma-slowed. You will need at least 33% cooldown reduction in order to make this happen. If you're summoner level 30, this is going to be easier with runes and masteries, and that's why you can get the cheaper Fiendish Codex. Otherwise, you're probably going to need to hit up the Glacial Shroud, and this will get you to your 33 or 34% that you actually need. Next up, Magi's Soul Stealer. This is a snowball item. When you kill or assist, you get stacks that will increase your ability power. Since we're all about ability power, this is great, but it is only great if you can actually avoid dying. So if you're one of those people who dies a lot, do not get the Magi's. It's not going to be worth it. You lose 1/3 of your stacks when you die, and you need to keep at least 5 stacks for it to be cost effective. Last but not least, we have Zhanya's Ring. This is an amazing item. It will add a massive boost to your ability power, but it's only cost effective if you have 40 or more ability power. This should not be hard if you build for the core items though, so you might want to keep this in mind. It's really great if you have the money to spare. Okay, so next up we have the do not buy items. First up is Reli's Scepter. Now it does give you good health and good AP, but for its cost you can get other items instead. Most people get it for its slow. Now as Nunu, you already have an awesome slow, so you do not need Reli's Scepter. Also we have Archangel's Staff. The problem with this one is that you do not need a huge mana pool as Nunu, and it's not going to actually be that cost effective. For its price you can get much better alternatives that we've already been over, such as Zhanya's Ring. Next up is Guardian's Angel. A lot of people get this because they hear the fact that if they die they'll be resurrected, and they think it's great. Bottom line is though, if you're playing against a smart team, then they'll see you die, they'll realize you have Guardian's Angel, and they'll just send someone there to camp your corpse and pop you with 750 damage as soon as you res, and there you go, you're dead. So in the end, it's really situational, but if you're playing a smart team, it's not really going to help. If you die while casting your ultimate and you're channeling, it will not continue once you res, so that also reduces its effectiveness. Next up, Malady. Malady is great for a lot of different characters, but on Nunu it's really terrible because you're not going to be spending that much time auto-attacking, and therefore the magic resistance reduction is not going to stack, and it's not going to be very effective. And again, we have another slowing item. This is Frozen Mallet. You do not auto-attack enough to actually get the slow off very well, and you've already got the slow from your snowball anyway, so it's just like Reli's Scepter. Don't bother with it, folks. Okay, so this concludes our introduction to AP Nunu. We've given you the basics of his skills and what items to go for. Join us in our next video. We're going to be going over gameplay itself. We'll be going over laning, team fights, and ganking. It's going to be fun. There's a link included in the description, or you can click this link here. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, that one. Click it, do it. Alright guys, this is HDLoLcast. It has been fun. Join us next time.